headlines in our dailies this beautiful morning. And then, of course, Mail and Focus will gladly embrace your reservations of submissions and contributions, on one or two major stories later on. And trust the Morning Express, as Cordelia opens the recap, would definitely follow suit with profound and exciting conversation you'd likewise definitely don't want to miss. So welcome on board to Trend to the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Mᴏᴜ Akinyosoye once again, and very importantly is our community on social media. Don't forget that, it's majorly and inevitably X, formerly Twitter, and of course Instagram, and you can subscribe as well. It would really be a great one to subscribe to our YouTube channel, not forgetting to turn on your notification button really to first and get interesting updates from us. We'll also be joined by Said Fouad this morning, which definitely will be giving us analysis to the major headlines in our dealings this beautiful morning. So welcome on board once again. We are live on Facebook, so join us live on Facebook to enjoy an audio-visual experience at Mainland 98.3 FM, and of course on YouTube, same at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can as well listen via Radio Garden and also on our website www.mainlandfm.com. So welcome on board once again, and permit me to peruse and take you through, keep you abreast. So while you're going in your daily activity, just put it up on us to take you through the stories and keep you updated on the headlines and major stories in our newspapers this beautiful morning. I have Fouad on the other side. Hello, Fouad. Good morning.
Good morning, Lady Mo. How are you doing?
Doing very well. How are you doing as well?
Perfect.
All right, that's good. Fouad, without further ado, let's kickstart because we have quite a number of headlines and stories we need to touch this morning. And I initially, planned, wanted to hear your thought about a particular story that broke out during the weekend. But fortunately, we have that majorly in newspapers this morning. And I want us to quickly start with that just to get your thought briefly. And the Vanguard captures it as on Ramadan, of course, because of the Ramadan fasting opera, as Bauchi, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi shot out 11.5 million school children. This comes with several writers that The Guardian has also been able to highlight. Decision unjustifiable, wrong, say decision unjustifiable and wrong, say stakeholders. Can Muric disagree? Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates adopt flexible approach, shorten school duration. NANS issue 72-hour ultimatum to reverse decision. Basically, that has been rancorous debates which have trailed the Ramadan holidays imposed on public and private schools in some northern states, technically shutting out over 11.5 million pupils from the national school calendar yesterday. And definitely this has been greeted with so many reactions, a handful in support and majority against this. And it has shown an unusual call for the executive governors taking toll rather on Bauchi, to be precise, Katsina, Kano and Kebbi, following directive that schools should shut down for the next 4 weeks to observe Ramadan. And across the state metropolis yesterday were children and adults, both Muslims and even non-Muslims, just as confused about the forced and unexpected break. And the development has definitely drawn, the ink of education stakeholders with the Parent Teachers Association, the National Association of Nigerian Student NANS, National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPPS, and even the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, expressing their concern. They even roll out, some highlighting some major points there, talking about not giving broad consultation before that, and even noting that there are some Islamic countries globally that are not shutting down their schools, though they are definitely reviewing their school time curriculum and stay in school. Now, the National Association of Nigerian Student NANS issued a 72-hour ultimatum to the affected state governors to reverse their decisions, and the association described the policy as a gross violation of student rights to uninterrupted education. But in response to the concerned stakeholders, funnily enough, the Muslim rights concern, Muric, through its executive director, Professor Ishaq Akitola, described CAN and others as, meddlesome interloper noting that, Ramadan is a completely Muslim issue and does not involve, any other faith and all of that, saying that, arguing that Muslims are the majority in the four states, and a democratic country like Nigeria should not be denied their wishes. It's, of course, recalling that casino and all of that, really. And even further with the analysis, we have, what's it called now? Findings showing that even globally, countries that are Islam central are just reviewing their time in school, not necessarily shutting down schools because of the Ramadan period. And so it begs the question, is this move retrogressive or progressive, Fuad?
All right, Lady Mo, let's start with Muric, because again, one would assume that Muric, who has always positioned themselves, and then Professor Ishaq, who is always, very, vocal about Islamic rights and all of that. So it would be nice to first say that, look, on this particular matter, Muric is not speaking for all Muslims, myself included. And let's take again his reaction to this development. I have a reason for telling you to please take it again, what he said about this development, and for you to see that there's nothing logical about what he has said. In fact, he's even contradicting himself. No, please, just indulge me. Come again. Reaction to this story. Muric, yeah.
Okay. Reacting to that, let me quickly guess. He said that he described Khan and others as meddlesome interloper, noting that Ramadan is completely Muslim issue and does not involve any other faith. And he said that, he argued that Muslims are the majority in the four states, and a democratic country like Nigeria should not be denied their wishes.
Okay, now let's just leave it at that. Now, he first said that these guys are meddlesome interlopers. No, that's completely incorrect. Look, you see, we have to say these things the way they are. He said it's a democratic state, and that Muslims are the majority in this state. So, in a democratic state, what about the rights of the minority? Because when you see, and that's how they cause unnecessary trouble. Look at his reaction now. People have said that, look, why do you have to close down the schools for 4 weeks? Because of Ramadan. Even in Islamic dominated states, in countries that practice Islam almost 100%, what they've done in some instances is to adjust timing in school. Oh, maybe allow the children to close early, to probably go and help, their families and, members, to prepare for iftar.
Fuad, even for more emphasis, the chief press secretary to the governor, Ahmed Idris, said that the government approved the break to allow the Muslim community within the state educational institution to engage fully in fasting, prayers, and other religious activities that are associated with Ramadan.
So that cannot be. So that's more important than even educating the people. And that's how these guys present Islam as if it's a backward religion. Never. Because are you saying that because of the fasting period, all of these activities cannot go pari passu with formal education? So the prayers cannot also be held alongside people going to their normal schooling activities. Is that what these guys are saying? They should even listen to themselves. How logical is what they are saying? Does it even make any sense? I was hoping that, I'm in a very good mood today. I wasn't going to walk up myself. But this story is nauseating. It does not make any sense, no matter how you try to paraphrase it. You try to bring out the logic in it, it just gets you annoyed. And if you go and look at the academic record of this state, these are states that are supposed to be very focused on getting their people out of lack of education. And then you have a Muric who is telling you that, because these states are dominated by Muslims, the rights, so the schools have been short. He is saying that now these organizations are meddlesome interlopers, right? The Christians in those schools who are not part of the fasting period, what are the students supposed to be doing? Sleeping at home.
Fuad, another concerning side to this story is the fact that I really want to do like Opeyemi this morning. We say, oh, well, wow. According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, that the number of out-of-school children has spiked from 6.4 million to 2000 to 7.5 million in 2000, 7.5 million in 2010, 9.6 million in 2020, 13.5 million in 2021, and a staggering 18.3 million in 2024. And even breakdown of the 3.1 million out of school children in the 4 states indicated that Kebbi accounted for the highest number with
some of these states.
Over 1 million, followed closely by Kano State with 989,000, representing 31.9%. Katsina with 536,112, 17.3%, while Bauchi State has 521,000. So in the face of tackling out of school children and having this, and even besides the dismal numbers, findings like I earlier mentioned about the core Islamic countries globally, they are not shutting down their schools during the holy months of Ramadan.
Because it does not make any sense, really. There can be religious activities even within the school environment during this Ramadan period. We all went to school and fasted. I have children in school too who are also fasting, as young as they are, and they are able to do all of these things, without any hindrance to their normal education. And then you close down schools in the entire state because of fasting. And then the Munich has come out to defend that.
Fuad, even their children are asked.
Where these things would never have happened. Give them the best of how do you let's just move to other stories.
All right, away from that.
And then to NANS, sorry. Okay. And then to the National Association of Nigerian Students who are given a 72 hours ultimatum for the schools to be open. So if the schools are not open, what would they do?
Well, Khan is going ahead with
I'm not
legally.
Talking about Khan, I'm talking about NANS. National Association of Nigerian Students.
Maybe when Khan goes ahead with the legal actions, he might do something.
If Khan can go to court, of course, that's a very honorable position. For Nigerian National of Nigerian Students, that NANS, that student body, who is saying that this school should be open in 72 hours, or what would they do if it's not open?
Maybe force it open.
You see, that's another unserious group of people. These so-called NANS we have now. So it should not also be taken seriously. We should all collectively condemn what these things have done and call for them to quickly open those schools and infuse whatever they want to do this Ramadan period with the normal education of these kids. You can't deny them education because the fasting period is ongoing. Of course, maybe curriculum can be adjusted. The school hours can be adjusted. But to shut down the schools completely is retrogressive. It doesn't make any sense.
All right, thank you, Fuad. That very story, we have that in the Guardian newspaper. Also, we have it in the Punch newspaper. You also get that very story. Page 6 captures that from the Guardian newspaper. And as well, we also have that on page 7 in the Punch newspaper for more details if interested. Let's just move away from that. We hope that we get a meaningful outcome from that. All right, let's move ahead to the oil sector. We have from the Guardian newspaper with the headline, Nigerians enjoy subsidized fuel as NNPC and Dangote engage in price war, with a writer that says stakeholders seek regulatory intervention, fear, anti-competition strategies. Now, in what appears as retaliation against initial price reduction by Dangote Refinery, which we saw a few days ago, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited yesterday, NNPCL, surprisingly slashed the pump price of premium motor spirits, PMS, commonly known as petrol, I beg your pardon, from 945 naira per litre to 860 naira per litre in Lagos and 865 naira in Abuja. And definitely this is coming as stakeholders are insisting that unless there is a strong regulatory intervention to discourage what they described as oligopoly, the downstream segment of the nation's petroleum industry might face serious structural and market consequences. And they even noted that the NNPCL and Dangote were already running at a loss in an attempt to, claim market share. And NNPCL's retail outlets in places like Orioke, Egbe, Ikoyi, and along Ikorodu Road in Lagos, as well as other across major areas of the FCT, had already adjusted their pump prices downward. But although the Independent Petroleum Market Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, stated that many of their members had reduced their prices despite purchasing stock at higher rates, absorbing losses to remain competitive, and their stations are being, deserted for MRS and NNPCL. and experts actually have reacted to this very saying that although NNPCL had officially explained the price cuts, industry analysts are suggesting it is a response to market pressure and an attempt to ease the financial burden on Nigerians. And even an expert also criticized the state of the PMS wholesale market, describing it as anti-competitive. He noted that two dominant players, the NNPC and Dangote, were engaging in interdependent pricing, and it's a hallmark of an oligopoly. And he argued that market efficiency is not solely about lower prices, but also about sustainability. Warning that relying on imported products rather than refining locally undermines long-term economic stability. Fouad, what are your thoughts?
These experts and stakeholders, I hope they are not enemies of the country. Again, they are speaking from both sides of their mouth. Again, they are not named, so it's difficult to pin some of these suggestions and analysis on any organization or individual. Would have been nice to know the guys who are coming up with some of these narratives, because they started again with oligopoly, competitive market. It does not necessarily mean downward pricing, and that if we are not careful, there could be disruption in the sector, because again, there has to be a regulation. So they are also suggesting some form of price control. I told you that, look, Dangote is on the survival instinct ride. Whatever he's doing now, I see it's more like what you call guerrilla marketing strategy. You understand what I'm saying? I think it was last week that, maybe yesterday, that we read that marketers who had bought at a higher price from him, he was ready to refund them about 16 billion naira. Just to keep it again, because the prices have gone down and they bought at a higher price so that they don't lose anything. Now, this story is also trying to achieve that, look, these guys are liars. They're deceiving you. Come to me, I have enough, to meet our domestic needs. Let them continue to tell you that, look, we just have to continue to import. What you are going out there to bring into the country, I have, even at a better quality. And so I'm sure you have to do something about his pricing again to have a competitive market edge. You understand what I'm saying? So
right.
You have a situation where the NNPC now has not done the same thing. You understand? And then suddenly there are stakeholders who are now saying there should be regulation. So they want to begin to suggest some form of price control, because they now feel that, whatever Dangote is doing by reducing its own price, could negatively affect what they are doing. Who begged them in the first place to go and start to import petrol into the country? Number one, they've told us that two of their refineries are working. They've not told us anything. There has never been any updates on that, whether there are products that are coming out from that. We've not gotten anything. The second one is this: who has told them again to continue to import? Whereas Dangote has told them that, look, I have what it takes to meet your domestic needs. At the end of the day, what we are saying is that we want competition, since that is the new order from government. They don't want to intervene. There's no need for any form of subsidy again. They want it to be an open market. But the competition should be about local production against local production, not import against local production. So at the end of the day, can we just allow this thing continue to play out, to continue to watch? Because what they are suggesting is dangerous. Any form of regulation now in pricing means you want to start price control again. And that is like hampering or stopping Dangote from further dropping the price. Whatever they say they are losing, I have my doubts. Maybe more. My mind tells me that, look, we're overpriced in the first place. We have been ripped off in the first place. And whatever pricing we are seeing now, probably what they are supposed to charge us in the first place. But we are watching. We keep watching and see what will eventually come out of this ridiculousness that we have always lived with in the oil sector.
Definitely. We would definitely sit tight to see how it unravels. You're still on to Trends in the Papers on Mailer 98.3 FM, The Sound of Lagos. Join us live on Facebook and YouTube at Mailer 98.3 FM, and as well on Radio Garden, and also on our website www.mailandfm.com. We'll definitely at the appropriate time make the avenues available for you to also be part of the conversation this beautiful morning. That very story, you have that from the Guardian newspaper and also from the Punch newspaper. The Guardian has the NNPC story on page 3 in the Guardian newspaper. All right, let's move away. And from Punch, you have that on page 23 in the Punch newspaper. All right, let's take a quick trip to River State, Fouad. Of course. Quite a number of the things or political plays that have been happening over a couple of weeks back have been getting some resolutions. We've been seeing the fallouts, and we've been seeing the end to the seemingly unending crisis. Now, from River State, Vanguard newspaper is capturing the Rivers crisis, saying, "I'm not scared of anything," saying Fubara. Of course, the governor, the River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, said yesterday he's not scared of the outcome of the political crisis in the state. He made a declaration as Martin Amawule's led State House of Assembly is smarting from last week's Supreme Court judgment, giving him 48 hours to present the 2025 budget to the lawmakers. And he definitely spoke during the inauguration of the residential quarters for government house staff in Port Harcourt, and saying that the worst thing that can happen to him is to leave the position of the position of governor. And he said any time his administration wanted to achieve stability, an obstacle always arose to bring the state to ground zero. I have a soundbite from a statement during the inauguration. I quickly want to play that before we give analysis to that. I hope you can bear me that time forward to do that. All right, stay with us, of course, to trends in the papers. This is from Fubara, the River State Governor. Stay with us.
I will start afresh. But I will continue to thank you for supporting us without getting anything. Supporting us because you believe that it is the right thing to do for River State. Let anybody not be deceived. There are faces today that will carry the symbol of some persons, and it will be a curse in this state. People should know that, because no matter how we've been fooled in this state, it has gotten to a point where this state have decided to take their destiny by their hands. In as much as I don't subscribe to violence, when the time comes for us to take a decision, I will lead the cause for that decision. Let me say it again, and let me say it again. I'm not scared of anything. The worst that will happen is me to leave the office. It's not. Am I leaving the earth? Is it going to stop me from existing? So I'm not even bothered about that. But the right thing must be done and must be said when the opportunity is given to us. So let me thank everyone, more especially is our youth. Be strong. Don't be backed up. Be strong. I assure you, at the right time, you will get the instruction.
Fuad. Hello, Fuad. Are you still there?
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
According to the governor, he said at the right time, the right thing will be done and the right thing will be said. Fuad, as it stands, what are your thoughts?
Well, we have a standoff now, and it's almost like we are postponing the evil day. River State is on the edge. More like what we have in Osun State, the situation of uncertainty. There's political tension in that state as we speak. Nothing has been completely resolved. You have a Supreme Court judgment, for example, that the governor and his people are saying that, look, they are waiting to see the CTC, that's the certified true copy of that judgment, which they are hoping to get within 7 days. Study it and then find a way to begin to implement some of the things that have been said in that particular judgment. They also think that will also make it so easy for them to be able to respond accordingly, whether there are other legal options, and so a lot in that situation for the governor and his team. The Commissioner for Information, River State, was with us yesterday in the situation room.
Yes.
I think he was with Tʀᴇɪᴅ.
Yes.
Yeah. And basically what he was saying is that, look, they're just waiting to get a certified true copy of that judgment, study it, and they think that can be gotten within 7 days. So they expect that after they've gotten the certified true copy, they can react appropriately. But the governor has started to implement part of that particular judgment. The fact that they have told those elected local government chairmen to vacate their offices for administrators to take over the local government is also a part of the implementation of the judgment. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, please.
But while the governor and his team have taken that position, you have, the River State House of Assembly led by Martin Mᴏᴜ. Of course, those that are loyal to Wike saying that, look, they had their meeting yesterday. They had their first plenary session yesterday,
yes,
after the Supreme Court judgment. And there were resolutions. As expected, one of the resolutions was that, look, the budget of the 2025 budget should be presented to that assembly within I think 48 hours. Yeah, they said 48 hours. And then the second one was that, look, they've also notified the governor that, look, based on the Supreme Court judgment, they will be amending the Local Government Act of the state. Remember that they've done something similar before in the past, which was one of the reasons why they extended the tenure of those local government chairmen that were removed before the election was held. You have a situation where the governor is saying that, okay, you know what, if the court has said this local government election is null and void, vacate your offices while we prepare to conduct another local government election. The wicked people are planning to bring the old guys back and extend their tenure, giving the excuse that, look, the situation is not, the situation is, the conditions of conducting the election is not appropriate, and that those guys should remain in office for like 6 months. You see, this is a game of power between Nyesom Wike and the governor, the supposed godfather and the godson. It's gotten very messy. I've seen a lot of people who have taken different positions on this matter, and a lot of the positions you see, have been a lot sentimental. It's been around a lot of sentiment and hypocrisy. Of course, they'll tell you, oh, the governor does not know what he's doing. He's a political neophyte. He's a political blah, 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 and all of that. But remember that, look, after this governor went to Abuja to sign a peace deal with the president, and he was, gradually implementing some of the things in the peace deal, even though we have said that a lot of the things that were put in that peace deal that was signed with the president, Nyesom Wike, and the other Rivers leaders was a form of political suicide if the governor decides to do everything in that peace deal. But we saw a governor who started to implement it. But while he was doing that, the Martin Mᴏᴜ layers of assembly, who said they are defected, started sitting. And for every of their resolutions, you know what they were doing? They were cutting the powers of the governor. For every time they sat, they were turning the governor to a puppet. They were removing, because for every resolution, you see, people can be hypocritical about these things. They can continue to deceive themselves. A lot of them are enemies of this country with the analysis of some of these issues. We know them. Because the only thing they put in their brain and head when we talk about some of these things is their party loyalty. And you know why I don't pity some of them, or I don't get annoyed with some of them? Like Barrister Curtis said, they are also victims. You know they are victims of what? They are also victims of their own party loyalty and the ridiculousness that comes with our democracy. So, and they don't even know that they are victims. They don't know. They think, oh, it's about supporting the party. Oh, it's about the interest of the people. They've forgotten that, look, we are all in this together. Unfortunately for some of them that come on radio to defend this nonsense, they are not even a beneficiary of anything. They are not a beneficiary. So they are actually also a victim of their own illusion and delusion about some of these issues. Didn't you see what Martin Mᴏᴜ and his other people were doing? Cutting the governor, reducing his powers, making him completely irrelevant. At some point, some of them will even talk to the governor. The things they want Fubara to accept, Wike would never accept it from anybody when he was governor. He even never accepted it as governor. Half of the things they've done to Fubara, they should ask themselves, are people supporting this nonsense? Can a Wike take it? Didn't we see Wike for 8 years when he was governor? Did he even tolerate the opposition? Look, this was a man that made sure people never visited River State for 8 years that he was governor. And people are going to come here to continue to support that nonsense? Again, like the governor has said, the worst that can happen is that he will be removed from that position. But would we have made any progress with our democracy? Our politicians have become, to the extent that they've even dragged our judiciary into the mud. So where is the hope for us in this democracy? If this is what we are going to continue to support. Oh, if they remove Fubara, that's the end of the world. Oh, so they will celebrate that victory. And then people will come on radio to come and defend that. Oh, they are happy. For anybody that supports that, just know that you are also one of the enemies of the state if you continue to support this nonsense. And do you know why we are not making any progress? Lady Mo. How are we going to make any progress? When we continue to destroy our institutions and continue to encourage people to be stronger than our institutions, the courts have become so ridiculous, nobody even trusts judgments of the court again because of our politicians. And you come here to continue to defend that. So the governor and his people, I'm sure knows what they want to do. We are hoping that, look, innocent people will not lose their lives. Because Rivers State is on the edge. There's trouble brewing in Rivers State.
Do you see the likeliness of synergy in the House? And secondly, the issue of defection. The Supreme Court judgment didn't recognize the issue of defection.
Well, the issue of defection is still, according to Fubara and his team, they feel it's a pending issue before the Federal High Court in Rivers State. Whereas, again, I've spoken to lawyers, Lady Mo, different lawyers. In fact, I had to speak to the senior advocate of Nigeria on this matter. And what he said is that, look, even they themselves in the legal profession are shocked about some of the judgments coming out of our courts. In fact, what one of them told me is that, look, most of these judgments have become too political than legal. That the statements, that sometimes judgments come, they review the judgments, they look at it, and it looks as if it's a politician that wrote it for the judge. Because of the way some of these judgments appear, what they delve into, the way they present it, the contradictions that comes with some of the judgments, here we are, Lady Mo, we are gradually destroying this democracy. Take it from me. We are gradually destroying this democracy, and we have to be careful. Because, look, I told Barrister Curtis over the weekend, a retired justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Amina Oge, had warned us about our politicians infiltrating the courts, the judiciary. They are planting their wives, planting their children, relatives, into different legal, into the judiciary. To the extent that it now looks as if our politicians know the cost to go and shop for judgment when they need one. It's like Jankara market. If you need a judgment, you know the cost to go through, and you know what to do. We have also got to the point where our politicians are now building houses, buying cars, buying vehicles for judges. Okay, the judge that you built house for, Lady Mo, you bought vehicles for, built a palatial house for. When your case gets to the front of that judge, what do you expect? Remember that justice is not about even justice being done. It's about it being seen to have been done. So at the end of the day, we're just hoping that these politicians will behave themselves. Whether you are loyal to Wike or you are loyal to Fubara, at the end of the day, we are hoping that they will behave themselves, find a way to resolve this issue, obey the court, even if you are not happy with the judgment. But at the end of the day, my mind tells me that, look, there's trouble still brewing. You can see what the governor is saying. That you guys should be on alert. I'll tell you what to do when the right time comes. Yeah. What does that mean?
I'll give instructions. I will do the right thing when the time is. Say the right thing when the time is right.
You see the problem we are facing. And it's not just Rivers State. Osun State is pending. Kano is pending. Kaduna has not known peace. Lagos, we are coming to that. And at the end of the day, this is democracy we all craved for after 25 years of the Fourth Republic. We want to see what happens in Rivers State at the end of it. We are watching.
All right, so we are watching. Thank you, Fuad, for that. From the Punch newspaper, you have that with the headline, Rivers Budget for Bara Assembly set for fresh showdown. Governor alert supporters. Page 2 captures that very story. And from the Vanguard, you have it. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, page 5 captures that. I'm not scared of anything. Governor Fubara. And also, I think the Guardian also captured that. Okay, not in the front page of, but definitely Yeah, still in the Guardian newspaper. All right, let's move away from River State Forward. Of course, still trends in the papers on Mailer 98.3 FM. Join us live. You can still definitely be part of the conversation this morning on Facebook and YouTube at Mailer 98.3 FM, on our website, www.mainlandfm.com, and also on Radio Guardian. My name is Modupe Akinyosoye once again. All right, let's come to Lagos State. The Punch newspaper captures Lagos Assembly. Our Akonde-led panel forced Miranda out, reinstated Obasa. Of course, I'm sure that a couple of persons are quite intimated about what happened yesterday, where we have, the 49-day reign of Mojisola Miranda, Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, ended yesterday when the lawmakers re-elected Mudashiru Obasa to lead them. And the move is not unconnected to the resolutions of the mediating panel led by Chief Bisi Akande and Chief Olusegun Oshoba, former governors of Osun and Ogun State, who intervened in a leadership crisis that rocked the assembly for almost 50 days. And over a week ago, the heavyweights in the All Progressives Congress, including the aforementioned former governors, were drafted by President Bola Tinubu to find a lasting solution to the assembly leadership crisis, which began when Obasa was removed by over 30 lawmakers on January 13, 2025. And that beckons the question, so why did you now go ahead to, when you know this will even come up later on? But before then, before I get your thought, the nomination of Obasa and also the statement from both the former, now she's not a former speaker because she resigned, and the newly re-elected speaker. Let's listen to that. We'll be back shortly.
Just Lagos State House of Assembly. I so nominate.
Good afternoon, Mr. Clark, our party leader, ladies and gentlemen. I, Honorable Prince Nureni Ayinde Akinsanya, representing the good people of Mushin, I rise to second the motion as moved. Thank you. I hereby second the nomination of Honorable Mudashiru Obasa as the Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? In view of no other nominations, I hereby declare Honorable Ajayi Obasa as the new Speaker of the 10th Assembly, Lagos State House of Assembly.
All right, after the nomination, let's just quickly listen to the speech by Mojisola Miranda as well.
My dear and gallant honorable colleagues, this is a notice of resignation as Speaker of the 10th Assembly. Once again, history beckoned on me to make personal sacrifice towards resolving the steaming, implacable leadership crisis rocking this assembly of patriots. I come from the illustrious Lawal Akapo family of Lagos. My family has played and shall continue to play defining roles in entrenching democracy, good governance. Please permit me, dear colleagues, to reinstate the position I previously expressed in a league publication, wherein I stated as follows. 1. It is with duty that I hereby give you notice of my decision to resign as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, 3rd of March 2025. I did not arrive at this decision lightly. Indeed, I took it carefully considering and integral circumstances that accumulated in my election as Speaker on the 13th of January 2025. On the one hand, and the recent political turmoil, which is threatening the coherence of this honorable house, on the other hand. We had a representative of the good people of Lagos with a mandate to protect our democracy and ensure good governance. I am a good student of political history, and in this regard, I know that this is a point at which, as your leader, I have to make this selfless sacrifice to resign in order to protect this institution. With your unflinching support, I made history as the first female Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. And I value and cherish the solidarity freely given to me. I leave this position as the Right Honorable Speaker of this House, and I shall continue to serve my good people of Apapa Constituency 1 in particular, and our team in Lagos in general. Thank you for finding me worthy to lead this distinguished and honorable assembly. I am not a quitter. However, I took the above decision in order to save this legislative institution from further unnecessary conflict and embarrassment. I sincerely thank you all for your understanding and support. Just like we know that the party decision is supreme.
All right, the party decision is supreme. Let's just briefly, because of our time, listen to Obasa as well, the re-elected Speaker of the Lagos House of Assembly.
We want to start by appreciating my colleagues. I want to thank you for your support, your dedication, your loyalty, and your staunch belief in our party and the utmost respect for our party leaders. I thank you, and I will always appreciate you for all you do. And let me sincerely single out my sister, the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Moji Miranda, who has been very, very, very supportive, loyal as Deputy Speaker. I thank you, ma'am, for everything. Thank you. God bless you. Let me also recognize our party chairman, Cornelius Ejelabi, and his team from our party secretariat. I thank you. I thank you for everything. Our Attorney General, Mr. Pedro, we thank you for being in our midst today. And management and staff of Lagos State House of Assembly, without you, we won't get to this stage.
All right, Fouad, because of our time.
Yeah.
Because our time is really fast spent. You know, to avoid crises or further crises and, you know, this arrest in the House of Assembly, Mojisola resigned. And, of course, Obasa was nominated. And
Obasa is back, yeah.
Obasa is back. So what next?
What next? There's nothing. They resolve their issue. You know, I've told you
what message? So, what message does this really?
Okay, the message. Okay, okay. The message is clear. Lady Mo, it's a very, very clear message. We are going nowhere with this democracy. The message is so clear that look, the speaker that just stepped aside, resigned for Obasa to be re-elected, said, as they know, they were telling themselves. They are not telling Lagosha, they are telling themselves that their party decision is supreme. And we are now telling them as Lagosha, who believe in the progress of this state and democracy, that their party decision is ridiculous. It's even a shame that their party, that pretends to be party of progressives, will take that kind of decision in a democracy. So they should know that among themselves, they may have taken this decision and decide that party decision is supreme. But we are telling them that as believers of true democracy, that party decision is ridiculous and useless and unknown to any democratic tenet. And as a Lagosian, we feel ashamed about this set of leaders. Like I told you in the past, they also should know that, look, they are not the first set of leaders to rule Lagos State. And they will not be the last. But what they do today, we will tell people about them tomorrow. It's become history. Because what others did in the past has also become history. I keep telling every Lagosian that cares to listen. It's just a matter of time. This too shall pass. Babaja Konde ruled Lagos for 4 years and 3 months. His legacies are there for everybody to see. This legacy of desecrating that, look, when these people ruled Lagos State, this is what they did to the state, to Adani State. Look, at the end of the day, that the whole GSC could not resolve. as led by Prince Tajudeen Olusi, our father here in Lagos. So Baba Olusi cannot call the politicians within the party to order to resolve an issue. It had to take the intervention of Baba, an emissary from Osun State. It is a shame to us that calls ourselves true Lagosians. But more of the shame is to them, not to us.
Well,
because some of us have always told them that look, when you benefit from impunity, one day impunity will come back to haunt you. I was saying Honorable Desmond was crying. I don't know why he was crying.
He was emotional, but it was just the farewell to the.
I thought he was crying.
Yeah.
What was he crying for?
Yeah, they will miss her as a speaker.
Hey, I see.
Well, some are like. Go ahead. Some are liking the situation to be the clash between the tongue and the teeth. They will clash, but then they will still resolve.
The fact is that look, you see, when you benefit from impunity, you encourage impunity, you tolerate from impunity. One day that same look at the way the lawmakers were helpless.
All right.
It shows that they had no powers, that they were superior powers who were controlling them, more like puppeteers. Because of time, that is complete political tomfoolery. Ridiculous.
Thank you.
Shame.
Thank you, Fᴜᴜ. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We have to step aside. We have a couple of bills to pay. We'll be back shortly for mainland focus. You can just definitely grab the Guardian, Vanguard, but still trust us. We'll still give you a couple of stories at the cost of conversations today. Still Mainland Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM. Stay locked. Good morning once again.
You dey shake like ceiling fan. My village people don't come again. Oh.